Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Pilates. We're going to do a 1 hour practice just using ourselves and any cushioned surface that you'd like. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to begin lying on our back. Let's have the knees bent, feet grounded to floor. Aligning knees and feet with hip bones. So taking that moment to really adjust your body. Having the arms lengthened out, angled away with the palms facing sky. This allows the shoulders to roll open, remember, and it also helps to broaden our chest space. The crown of the head you want to feel dragging to the back of your mat so the chin lands about fist distance away from your chest. And let's close the eyes here in space. We'll always start our practice with our Pilates breathing so that we can connect the mind and body. Let's begin. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Softly purse your lips and exhale a steady stream of air through your mouth. Breath in deep, make sure to fill all the way up. Steady stream of exhale. But make sure you really empty out completely down to the bottom. Breath in 3 parts. Breathe in from the pit of your belly. Fill into the ribs. Bring it up to the top of the chest. When you're exhaling, you're emptying from the top of your chest. You're going to press down through your ribs, and I want you to squeeze it all out through the lower belly region. Ribs will expand out as you breathe in, filling up those lungs. And then as you exhale, those ribs begin to knit back to the midline of your body. Squeeze all that breath back out. I want you to keep an ease with your breath in. But then I want you to force the breath out with power and energy. Your exhales now should be very audible and strong. When you breathe in with ease, the abdominal muscles relax and disengage. They let go, but then when you breathe out with power, then those muscles reactivate. Contract your core, really feeling your belly firming up nice and tightly. Let's continue to stay with this breath so they can build up the breathing technique and the relationship between your breath and powerhouse. Notice how your breath and your core are directly related, and they do work hand in hand. Let's stay here for 4 more cycles of breath and see if you can pull your abs in more deeply each time you're breathing out. Two more times. Last one here, big breath in. As you breathe out, open the eyes. Then as you breathe in, next I want your head to slowly turn to look over your right shoulder. Breathing out, let's turn that head slowly to look now over the left shoulder. We're just working side to side here. Inhale, slowly swivel the head to look over the right shoulder again. And then breathing out, we swivel slow back to the left shoulder. Feeling your head really rolling across the floor here, making sure that it's not going to physically lift off. One last time here, nice rotational movement for our cervical spine, the neck. Bring your head back to a centered position. Next, I'd like us to interlace fingers and take hands to the back of the head. I want you to cup right at the base of your skull before your neck begins. And then I want you to pull your arms up, pointing your elbows to the sky. We want our arms to closely frame our head because now the arms are the support for your head so that you can let it kind of just lay heavy in your hands. Let's breathe in while we're here. Exhale, lift the back of your head and the back of the neck off of the floor. Press your chin to your chest. Lower to the mat again, breathing in. So we're just kind of stretching into the back of the neck, into the trapezius and the upper back region. Let's do that again. Exhaling, lifting head off, pressing chin down. Take it back to the floor again. Breathe in. Let's do that one more time. Exhaling, use those arms to support your head while you lift it off the floor. And then go ahead and return your head back to the floor. Again, once it's arrived, Open the arms nice and wide now. So feel your elbows point from one side of the room to the other. Take another breath in. Now I want you to firm up your belly and lift up your head, your neck, your shoulders, a simple ab curl with arms pulling back with energy. Lower to the mat again, breathe in. Again, firm up belly first. Slowly peel up and make sure your tailbone stays rooted to the floor. Come down, breathing in. Let's do 4 more of these. Again. Two more times. Last one here, exhale, pulling up slow. Take the entire exhale to get to lifted space. So then go ahead and return your head back to the ground. Once it has, releasing your hands, lifting arms to the sky. Have your palms turned in to face one another and make sure your hands are shoulder width apart. We're gonna work next on the mobility of our shoulders here. So when you take a breath in, I want you to feel the backs of your shoulders lift off of the ground, and I want your fingertips to reach up high to the sky. And then as you exhale, feel those shoulders draw down, plug down back to the earth. Again, reaching and shrugging the shoulders up. And then anchor roots down into their sockets. Let's do 2 more of these. Inhale, reach to the sky. And then exhale, plug down. 1 more here. Inhale up. And then anchor as you breathe out. And then I want you to maintain that anchor of the shoulders. Next breath in, I want both of the arms to reach slow to the back of the mat while the ribs stay sealed in tight to the body. As you're breathing out, I want the arms to open out and then circle back down beside you, and then reach those fingertips down to the heels. Nice long energy. Reach open over, breathing in. Make sure your spine stays imprinted to the ground. And then as you exhale, the arms circle through. Hi there, big guy. Inhale, overhead. Notice the belly begin to activate, right? The core tightening, and then keep the core strong as you circle through. I want us to add a bit more core to this. So now on the breath in, the arms reach back like they once had. Here's where we change. I want you to scoop up your belly, lift up your head, neck, and shoulders now as the arms circle through, but now they're gonna land at a hover. Hey boy, come over here so they can see. He's grooming. Lower down, breathe in, arms overhead. Arms begin to circle, head, neck, and shoulders peel up. And we land at hover. Arms are stiff like a board. Let's do 2 more of these. Using our ab strength to lift us up. 1 more time. Come down, breathe in. Circle through. Landing here, staying here, breathing steady, and then pumping the arms down. When you're pumping the arms, the movement stems from your shoulders, stretching out through those fingertips. Breath for 5, pump it out. 4, good. 3, 2, 1. Let's rest it down, recover here. So we're gonna mix in here a little bit of core strengthening with our stretching today. Let's go ahead and take the arms in close if they're not there already. Press them to the floor, take a breath in. Now I want you to use your ab strength, breathing out to lift your feet off the floor. Slowly begin to bring the knees to the chest, and then we'll place the hands on the knees when you arrive. We're gonna use our hands to create our movement here. We're circling our legs and they're moving together in the same direction. So either clockwise or counter. This is gonna help to massage and roll out your lower back, the SI joints just above your tailbone. Take then a moment to pause, and then we'll reverse direction. Big breaths in and steady breaths out. We always want to move with the tempo of our breathing, because if they're unmatched, right, one gets lost. And then go ahead and return back to a centered space. From here, I want us to stretch the glute and lower back. So let's hold the right knee with both hands and stretch the left leg to the ground. We're flexing the left foot so the leg can anchor firm to floor. Hello, sir. Nice to see you. We're gonna use both hands here to hug the leg to body, which activates that stretch along the back side here. Just make sure your shoulders don't tense up to your ears. You want to actively pull them down and away from. So while we're holding this hug in nice and closely, I want us to also circle the foot to the right foot, just to kind of warm through the ankle here. Some joint work, waking up the body, and let's reverse direction. Wonderful. Let's take that foot into stillness. I want you to continue to hold on to your right leg as it is, but I want you to slowly lift your left leg to the sky, and we're going to point the toes now with this. On a breath in, I want that left leg to slowly begin to lower straight down to the floor in front of you, taking it to hover at the lowest or anywhere above that, and then firm up your belly, use your core strength to pull that leg back up again. Lowering left leg, breathing in, everything else stays still like a statue in your body. Lift the leg up. I want us to do 4 more, but this time with head and shoulders lifted, elbows out, shoulders plugged down. Inhaling, coming down. Beautiful. Again with that left leg, slow lower, resisting, right, as if it were moving through molasses. We're gonna do 2 more, but now let's take our hands at the back of the head for this last one. We're kind of eliminating a little bit of support that we had with our arms, and now just relying strictly on the core. Last time here, slow coming down, then a slow lift up. Good. Bring both knees in, take the head down, hands on knees, gentle rocking side to side to recover. So we're going to do that on the other side. We're going to start with that glute lower back stretch. Let's place both hands on the left knee, stretch the right leg down and anchor it in. Both hands, like you're almost taking a bicep curl. So activating those bicep muscles to squeeze that leg in close, pull those shoulders down. And I also want you to feel the energy of your left sit bone really stretching down to the front of your mat. Staying here, let's circle the left foot and take your time just rolling out the ankle. Wonderful. Then reverse direction of movement. Taking that foot back into stillness. We're going to continue to hold the left knee. We're going to lift the right leg up now and point the toes. That kind of helps lock the leg up so it's stiff and strong. Breathing in, taking that leg downward slowly. Then breathing out, tighten your belly and lift the leg. Coming down, reaching through your toes to find a little extra added length, and then exhaling, pulling back up. And then let's lift up head and shoulders, sweep elbows out, drop shoulders down for the last set of 4, coming down. Again. These last 2, let's go ahead, take those hands at the back of the head, widen those arms. Good, isolate and control this one last time. Right leg has movement, everything else should be steady and still. Pull up slow, breathing out, then bring both knees in, take the head down, hands on knees, again, gentle rocking side to side. Just kind of balancing our body out between effort and ease. Okay, I want us to work next into our hips. Hip joints, hip flexors, outer hip and glute muscles. So all that's going to kind of be mobilized and stretched out. We'll start with hip mobility in the joints. Let's place both hands back on the knees. When you take a breath in, I want you to use your hands to separate your legs and open them out to a straddle, as wide as you can take it. And then as you breathe out, circle the legs around, reconnect. Make sure your hands always stay in contact with your knees. We're going to separate on an inhale. And circle through on the exhale. So the opening of your legs is going to help with the openness of the hip joints. The circular movement helps to kind of massage and release the hip flexors. Let's go ahead and do a couple more. Opening wide, a slight pause here to feel that openness within the hips before continuing on, reconnecting. Last time here, separation, breathing in, circle through, breathing out. Wonderful. From this position, I want you to release your knees, take your feet to the ground and open your arms out to a T. I want us to take a nice wide stance with our feet. So I step out to each side and the knees are going to separate that distance as well. Having a nice wide stance with our legs, arms out to the sides. They are not just on vacation hanging out. They are working. So press them actively to the floor. They are your stabilizers. This is going to be for the hip flexors. It'll travel and wrap around to stretch the lower back. And this is a core strengthener. Let's begin. Oh, you found the spot. Breathe in, lower both legs over to the right side of your workspace. Firm up your belly, stack up the legs or pull them back to center. And we're going to lower the legs down to the left side, breathing in. And then as you breathe out, firm up that belly. We want to use the majority of our abdominal strength to lift the legs so that the legs just kind of feel like they're along for the ride. Good, again to the left side. You don't want your upper body to peel or lift away from the floor, so be mindful of that. It's not so important the legs get really close to the ground. It's stabilizing the upper body, which does give a little bit more pull to your hips, which is what we're looking for. Inhale to the left side. Tighten up and pull up to center. Let's do one more to each. Right side again, coming down. And again, as the legs lower to the floor, you're going to feel that stretch start at the front of the hips and then wrap around to the lower back. So once your legs have come back into center, let's step the feet back into a more narrow stance. From here, we're going to work on stretching. I wasn't prepared, but we're going to work on stretching glutes and outer hips. So let's take next the right ankle, cross over the left knee, flex the foot here for energy, and push the leg out for more hip space. Wild child. Then coming into any variation of this figure 4 stretch that works best for you. You may decide to stay exactly where you are, or if choosing to hold your left leg up, just be mindful of your shoulders in relation to your ears and make sure your tailbone still stays heavily rooted to the ground. I'd like you to breathe into your right hip here. When you're exhaling, I want your legs to shift just slightly over to the left. Feel that weight change, and then notice the change also in the stretch itself. Come back to center, breathing in. Again, as you exhale, lean over to the left. This is not the time to attack my arm. Come back to center, breathing in. 2 more times. Come on, cat. Lean slow to the right, or excuse me, lean slow to the left, focusing on the right hip. Okay. One last time. Exhaling over to the left side. Return back to center when you take a breath in. And then let that release. Excuse me. No. Let's switch sides. Left ankle crossing over right knee. He's a little rambunctious today. Apologize. Pushing out on the leg, opening up your hip space. Then again, any variation on the side that you'd like to take, just be mindful of your structure and form. Take a breath into your left hip. When you exhale, slowly lean now to your right side. Come back to center, breathing in. Again, lean slow to your right, and then feeling out your left hip while you're doing that. Come back to center on an inhale. 2 more times. Exhale, lean and shift. Come back to center, breathing in. One last time. Come back to center when you take an inhale, let the stretch release, and ground your feet on the exhale. So we spent some time here really warming through, opening up our hips. So let's move into a hip exercise. Let's take both legs up to the sky, toes actively pointed. Then we're going to use that to externally rotate the legs, rolling the thighs out, but feeling the inner thighs hug to midline. Oftentimes we pull our legs in too close, which lifts up our bum and our tailbone. So make sure your tailbone is rooted. Your knees are stacked above your hips. It's your feet that are slightly more out in front. Arms close in, pressed actively to the ground. Double leg circles, working hips, working abs. When you breathe in, I want you to separate your legs and straddle here, much like we did in our mobility warm-up. Then as you breathe out, sweep the legs downward, squeeze them in towards each other, use your abdominal strength to lift them back up to starting position. So we inhale to straddle, that's through the hips. And then the inner thighs work to help pull the legs down and in. Abs work to lift the legs back up. Let's do 4 more. Inhale. So the further down you sweep the legs, the more intense it will be. So you can make that a little bit more shallow if you'd like it to. Open breathing in. Sweep down, squeeze legs in, and pull them up. 2 more times. Keep reaching out to those toes. Do not lose the point of them. That will help to keep your legs stiff and strong. Last time here. Big breath in. Once the legs have stacked, draw the knees in, hands on knees, a gentle rocking again, side to side. Okay. What we're going to do next is stretch the back side of our legs. We're going to get some hamstring action, some calf stretching, and then also the shin and top of foot as well. So let's take both feet back to the floor, breathe. From there, your right leg will lift high to the sky. Hold the leg from behind and then take that tailbone and root it down again. I want the energy of your right leg to press away from your body and into the hands. That's going to lengthen its backside. And then lastly here, finally getting into stretch, you're going to use your arm strength to pull the leg back. So bending the elbows a bit here in space. But we always want to maintain this kind of fight between push and pull. My leg is pushing forward, my hands are pulling back, and they're kind of meeting together in the middle there with energy. Make sure the tailbone still stays grounded, and we're stretching first the hamstring. Staying in this hold, I want you now to also flex the foot, which adds in that calf stretch, and then pointing the toes, which activates the shin and top of the foot. Again, heel to sky. And then point through the toes. You want to make sure you hold these. We don't want to rush through the movement because then we're not really stretching, right? So flex the foot, hold it, feel it, and then point the toes, holding, feeling. Let's keep the toes pointed. Let's release our hands, bring the arms back beside us. And then because we were in stretch, again, we're going to push the leg forward some so the knee stacks. And we're going to externally rotate that thigh. Let's take our left leg extended down to the floor, flex the foot here to anchor that leg down. Single leg circles. Breathing in our right leg only is going to cross slightly over the body. And then draw a small circle, exhaling, sweeping the leg down, opening it out slightly to its side, and then restacking the leg above your hip. So we're working a lot on pelvic stability. So feel the backs of your hips here. Make sure they still stay equally anchored, crossing, and then exhaling a circle through. What's helping to stabilize our pelvis through the leg movement is our core, our abs. 2 more times, crossover, breathe in, sweep down. You can create a bigger circle if you want more intensity, just as long as you can still maintain the same control. One last time, crossover, breathing in, circle through, breathing out. Then let's go ahead, reverse the direction. We're going to open the leg, breathing in now. Sweep down, slightly crossed over body, and then stack. Maintain external rotation here, open leg up, breathe in, circle down, across, and stack. 2 more times. Use both arms and your grounded leg for support here. Last time, breath in. Bring that right knee in. Once you finish, hold on with just your right hand. Let's draw circles with this leg here. This kind of helps to massage out that hip flexor again. Okay. So we're going to do all that on the other side, and we'll start with our stretch. So let's bend our knees, ground our feet, breathe. And then let's lift the left leg straight up. Holding on. Feel the tailbone next, anchor down. After that, push forward on the leg, away from you. And then lastly, finally, bend elbows, bring the leg in closer to you. But then don't lose that push energy, right? If our leg bends, we lose our stretch. It's gone. Long leg is key. Hamstring to start. So let's stay here and now flex the foot, heel to sky. And then point through the toes. Again, heel to sky. And point. Once again, flexing of the foot. Kind of pointing through the toes, but I want you to keep the toes pointed. Release hands, arms at your side, and leg pulls out just slight. Stack your hip, externally rotate thigh, extend your right leg down, flexed foot so that leg can anchor to the floor. Inhaling, we're going to cross that left leg slightly over the body. Circle through slow as you breathe out. Remember, the backs of your hips are really key. We don't want them to seesaw or rock. We want to keep them actively glued to the ground. 2 more times. Last one here. Breath in to initiate the movement and then exhaling for the follow through. Let's stop here at the top so that we can reverse direction. The leg is going to open, breathing in. Circle down, slightly across, stack, always pause at the top. So these are not continuous circular movements. We have a very definitive beginning and ending point for each and every one we do. 2 more. Open. Circle, pause. Last one. Afterwards, bring the knee in, hand on knee, circle through, massage it out. Okay, so we're kind of worked through all of our stretches. Now we're going to go ahead and work on some more ab strengthening. Let's pull both knees into the chest, arms close beside us, pressed into the ground. Spine is anchored here as well to help stabilize our body. Start off with some classic leg extensions and we're going to build up from there. Breathe in to prepare your body. Exhaling, both of your legs slowly extend away, pointing through those toes. Bring the legs back in again on an inhale. Again, we're going to extend the legs away. And when you extend your legs, reaching them higher to sky will have more ease, but closer to floor will have more heat. So find an angle that works for you. We'll do 2 more before we add on. Take the entire exhale to get there. We don't need to rush to our end point. We want to work with our breath. Bring it in on an inhale. One last time here. Stay here, paddle the legs, but move from your hips, not your feet. 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring the knees back in. Pause. So I just add a little flair to the end of our classic leg extension. Building upon that, now we're going to lift and stack the arms up to the sky. So now we're going to add in movement of our arms with our legs. So they work together in unison. Let's breathe in. Now as we exhale, both legs extend as the arms pull down in front of you to a hovered space. Knees draw in, arms stack up, breathing in. Exhale, legs lengthen out, arms pull down. Knees draw in and arms stack up, breathing in. 2 more of these. Good, pull everything in on an inhale. One last time. Hold here, flutter kick. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Knees in, hands on knees for a moment. Rock, rock, rock to release. So we're adding in 1 more step to our leg extension build up. So we're going to add in now a lift of the head, the neck, and the shoulders. So legs, arms, head, all move together as one. So nothing leads before the other. Let's start with arms stacked, knees in, head grounded. Breathe in. Now exhaling, legs extend out, arms pull down, and head and shoulders peel up. Bring knees in, lower head and shoulders, and stack up the arms. Again, working your body as one solid piece, even though they're all separate parts. Bring knees in, come on down with head and shoulders, stack up the arms. 2 more times. Good. Bring it in, lower it down, stack it up. Once more here. Hold that space, paddle those legs from the hips. 3, 2, 1. Take the legs in stillness. Now the arms pulse down. Breathe, breathe, hold, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rest it on down, release. All right, let's get a little stretch here with our next exercise, roll ups. So core strengthening on the way up and the way down, and in between that, we're gonna get a nice deep back body stretch. So the entire back side of your body from the heels traveling up and out through the crown of our head. So let's take both legs to the floor, flexing of feet. Your legs are a very, very key element to this exercise. So they're not just hanging out, resting, relaxing, they're always working. So with feet flexed, I want you to make sure your feet also are parallel to each other. So you're gonna feel this activation of those inner thighs really squeezing into your midline. Your arms are gonna reach behind you. And as the arms reach back, I want you to seal the ribs in and I want you to zip your pubic bone towards your navel. Inhaling here, we're going to begin to peel ourselves off of the floor. Arms, head, and shoulders, begin it. Use a breath out to continue to lift yourself off the ground to seated. Then we're going to take a big hinge from the hips, fold over, and then let the head be the last thing to let go heavily through your arms. Keep pushing up through those heels. We'll stack back up, taking a breath in. And then looking straight on, I want you to tuck your tailbone under, keep pushing out through the feet, scoop out your belly, round your spine, and control yourself back to the floor again. Again, inhale, start it up. Peel up, stack up, fold slow. Take your time, stretch it all out. Stacking tall, take a breath in. And then rolling down. Reconnecting one vertebra at a time. Let's do 2 more of these. No momentum here, so really force your core strength to pull you upright. When you hinge, do not collapse your chest. Send your heart towards the toes and then take them melt forward. Coming up tall, breathing in. Feel the energy of your arms pulling behind your ears, like as you take your way back down. Last time here. We're going to breathe in to sit all the way upright. I want you to stay seated and then exhale, just lower the arms down alongside you. We're going to work next into spinal rotation. So nice, good movement for the spine itself. The muscles being activated are the obliques. So these waistline muscles here are going to be the ones that move our body. For the other muscles, our shoulders and upper back, those are the muscles that are going to be used to hold our arms in their space. We're coming to a genie position with our arms today. One arm stacked on top of the other and out in front of you. And then from there, I want you to pull your chest up, but draw your shoulder blades down your back. Pull the belly in nice and tight. If you need to here, you can always have a little bend in your knees. If you're feeling a lot of pressure in your hip flexors or your lower back, or you're finding that you're kind of really struggling to sit upright with the legs fully lengthened out. So remember, we lead with our waist. Arms only follow what we're doing. Take a breath in and get really tall. Exhale, cinch in your waist and pull over to the right. A little twist. Super small. We never want our legs to move. Come back to center as you breathe in. Work your eyes along the horizon as you rotate to the left. Come back to center as you breathe in. Again to the right side, getting taller as you rotate. Good. Come back to center on an inhale. Left side. And then return back to center. Let's take one more to each side. We're stabilizing our pelvis. That's why the legs don't shift. Anchoring those sits bones into the ground. One last time. Good. Return to center, breathe in. Stay centered here. Exhale, uncross arms, and then pull them out to the sides into a cactus position. Take a breath in while you're here. As you breathe out, imagine you're trying to press something up to the sky. Stretch straight overhead. As you inhale, imagine you grab something from the sky and want to pull it back down to your starting position, bending elbows. So you want to feel resistance in both directions, pushing up on the inhale, exhale rather, sorry, pulling down on the inhale. Upper back and shoulders. Shoulders when you press up, upper back when you pull down. Again, press, pull, breathe in. 2 more of these, press, grab and pull. One last time, press to the sky with those arms. Pull back down to cactus as you breathe in. Keep arms cactus, 90 degrees. Now we're going to squeeze into our chest. Exhale, pull the arms forward in front of you. Draw them towards each other. Open the arms through upper back strength. Again, squeeze into chest. Draw the arms out in front of you. And then open the arms as you breathe in. And we'll do 4 more of these. 4. Make sure those shoulder blades really stay locked in their position so they're not like 2 plates floating around behind you. They've got a secured space. Open, breathing in 2 more times. Good, open it out on an inhale. One last time here, squeeze into those pectorals. Good, open through the upper back. Breathing in. As you exhale, I want you to release. Let your feet relax. Let your upper body just melt over your legs. Head heavy. I want you to take a deep breath in into your upper back region. And then a long breath out. Again, breathe in big. Exhale out. One last time here. Big inhale. And then as you breathe out, I want you to slowly start to stack yourself back up. And then head is the last thing to arrive. And I want us to work next into some side leg series. So let's all start by lying down on the right side of the body here. So I'm gonna scooch back a little bit, get my whole body in. Long line of energy, stacked up body. You want to take your left hand to your hip and point your elbow to the sky. Like me here, you could have your head propped up with your right hand. If that brings any tension in neck and shoulder, instead you'll just rest all the way on your right arm. Note that though, if you're able to do either one, you have a little bit more balance stability with your head propped. Feet are flexed. The entire right side of you is pressed to the floor. Top leg has hover with a subtle inward rotation. When you roll the leg in, we're not just rolling in from the foot. We want to roll in from the hip and then everything follows. Belly pulls in tight. Let's take a breath in. Exhaling, let's lift that leg up through the strength of our hip. Hover down, breathe in, right? That outer hip muscle. Abduction, lifting leg up and firming up your belly. Hover down as you take a breath in, and let's do 4 more. 4. Coming down with resistance. 3 more. Lower. 2 more times, lifting. Good. Hover it down. 1 last time, pull the leg up. And then let's go ahead and just take the leg down half of the way. Let's point the toes while we're here. When I feel that leg lock up stiff, movement stems from the hip, circling the leg. Take your time with these. These are slowed down much more here because a circular movement really throws our body off balance. So we have to make sure we maintain the same control. So core has to work a little bit harder here to provide stability of the upper body. Let's breathe. 3, 2, 1. Let's pause, reverse direction. Keep reaching out through those toes, but also reaching out through the hip joint from the front there. 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's pause. Let the leg gently come down. Breathe. So from here, if you are resting on your arm like this, I want you to prop your head up now with your right hand. From here, I want you to bend both of your knees and bring the feet behind you. And then I want you to lift both feet off of the ground. We want our hips to stay stacked, one on top of the other. We do not want our elbow to pull back at all. So keep it pointing up. Clamshell, outer hip and glute strengthener. When you take a breath out, I want you to open your left leg up towards the sky. Squeeze your bun. close down, breathe in. Again, opening up your shell and then closing it in. 4 more of these. Make sure that your feet stay elevated. Your pelvis stays stabilized. Good, close it on down. 2 more times. We open, open, open. We close with resistance. 1 more here. Let's open up that leg, but then let's take it down just 1/3 of the way. I want you to pulse up from the hip. It's a more of a physical movement of the knee, but that's not where it stems from. It stems from right here. Good. 5, pulsing up. 4, breathing. 3, belly strong. 2, good. 1, leg comes down, feet lower, stretch out the legs. Bend your left knee to the floor. Take time just to tap your hip out, right? That lactic acid gets built up in our body. So we really just want to make sure that we can kind of disperse it a little bit here in space. Okay. I want us to work on our bottom leg next, and the bottom leg is going to really strengthen the inner thigh, the adductors, and your lower abdominal region. So let's take our left foot and step it behind the right leg, and let's take that right leg and angle it slightly in front with the hand back to the hip. I want you to flex the right foot, hover the leg, and then instead of an internal rotation, I want you to have an external rotation. This is going to be a fairly small movement. Be mindful of your elbow. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, squeeze out that breath and lift up your leg. Hover down, breathe in. Again on the exhale, lift it up, and then hover down. Let's do 4 more. 4. Good, hover. 3 more. Good, hovering. 2 more times. Squeeze into that thigh. Good, hover. Once more, let's pull the leg up, but then hold it in space. Inhaling now, I want you to bend that right knee, and I want you to pull the leg in towards you. And then as you breathe out, I want you to push the leg away and reach towards the sky. So I want that diagonal upward here. Bring the leg in on an inhale. Push out and up on the exhale. 4 more times. In. Press out. 3 more. In. Push out, push up. 2 more times. In. Exhale out. Last time here. Draw the leg in nice and slowly. Good. Drive it up towards the sky. Hold here. Now we pulse it up. Pulse from that inner thigh strength. Good. 5, 4. Control it. 3, 2, 1. Let that leg come down nice and slow. Okay. We're going to do all this on the other side. So however it's easiest for you to transition to the left side of your body. Lining up, stacking up, hand to hip, elbow to sky. Push out through both heels. Feel the left side of you pressing down actively to the floor. Top leg will hover, subtle inward rotation. And then also make sure your neck is lined up with your spine. Here we go. Breathing out, leg pulls up. Hovering with resistance, breathing in. Again, lifting. Hovering. Let's do 4 more. 4. Hover down. Good. 3 more. Lower with control. 2 more times. We lift from the hip. And we control it down to hover. 1 last time, lifting leg. Let's take then that leg half the way back down. Point toes when you arrive. Lock up stiff. Circle through. Take your time here. If we move quick, right, there's a much greater chance of our upper body being really unsteady and wobbly and shaky. We want to really provide that constant support, which forces our muscles to work a lot harder. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Let's reverse direction. So it goes to show you that speed doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get stronger or work harder. Actually, taking your time sometimes requires a little bit more effort. Good. 3, 2, tight belly. 1, Good, let the leg gently come down. All right, so if you're resting on your left arm, go ahead and prop yourself up with your hand. Bend your knees, feet behind you, and then lift both feet off the floor. Be mindful again, pelvic stability, stacked hips, pointed up elbow, and we begin our clamshell. Squeeze into your right glute and open that leg. Close on an inhale. Again, opening and closing. Let's do 4 more. 4. Good. Squeeze it in. 3 more. And then close. 2 more times. Lifting. Cinching it in. 1 more time. We're going to open up that right leg. And we're going to lower it down just 1/3 of the way. And then from there, we're pulsing through the hip, even though the knee has most of the movement, right? For 5, pulse it up. 4, breathe it big. 3, keep that glute tight. 2, good. 1, and then let that leg come down. Lower the feet, stretch out both legs, bend your knee to the ground. Tap, 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 tap. Release, release, release. We're definitely going to get a deeper hip stretch after this, but in the meantime, this is just a nice way to break it up. All right, we're going to move on next to our bottom leg. So let's take that right foot, step it behind it. Angle that bottom leg slightly more in front with hand back to hip, elbow back to sky, pushing through the heel of foot, hovered the left leg, external rotation. Inner thigh, lower abdominal, 2 major muscle groups to strengthen. So pull the belly in deep, and on your breath out, pull the leg up. Again, super small lift here. Come down. If you try to lift that leg up too high, then your body's going to fall back, and we do want to avoid that, right? So we lift, and then we hover. 4 more here. 4. Good. Hover. Keep pushing through that heel. 3. Hover. 2 more times. Lifting. Good. Hovering. 1 last here. Pull the leg up and then hold it in space. Inhaling, we bend knee and we pull it into the body. Exhale, we push out and towards the sky. Again, bring it in. Drive it out, drive it up. 4 more. 4. 3 more. In. Push it out. 2 more times. In. Press. Beautiful. 1 last. Draw in, slow. Drive out, hold, and we pulse, pulse, pulse it up. Isolate, isolate, isolate. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let that leg gently come all the way to the floor. Let me just check our time here. Wonderful. All right, so let's just get some hip and inner thigh stretch. So I want you to roll onto your backside for a moment here. And then on your backside, I want you to bring the knees into your chest. Take the soles of your feet together, then knees open wide. Grabbing hold of either outer edges of feet or your ankles. I want you to feel your feet getting pulled in. I want you to feel the knees getting pushed out. And I want your tailbone to really settle into the earth. Inner thigh groin stretch here while the hips open up. Big breaths in. Good. Keep that tailbone anchor. Couple more times here. Once again, big breath in. As you're breathing out, let the stretch release, legs come together, feet come down to the floor. Now, we might have opened up our hips, but I want us to stretch out those muscles. So let's next take, and this is going to be a variation of a figure 4 stretch. So taking your right leg, the entire leg, and we're going to cross it over the left leg like you're staying cross-legged in a chair. I want you then to bring both knees back towards your chest, and then a hand at either leg. I want you to grab hold, and I want you to slide the hands down as low as you can reach without your shoulders starting to pull away from the ground. Then really strong grip here. I want you to pull the legs into you closer. And what that's going to do is going to lift your butt off the ground. So that's your pull energy. Your push energy is pushing, pressing your tailbone back to the floor, which will physically draw the legs further away from you, but still hugging in. So getting that deep stretch sensation to the right side. So your feet can stay low and relaxed in space. You could also flex the feet, begin to lift your feet upward. It's going to take your legs more into a 90-degree angle. Not to say that one position is better than the other. It just changes the sensation of stretch and something you might want to explore for your body. But here we are focusing on our right hip. Deep breaths in, steady breaths out. Again, big inhale, long exhale. Let's do it once again. Breath in big. When you breathe out, let the stretch release. Uncross the legs. Let's switch sides. Left leg over right leg. Both knees pull back in. Hands on legs. Slide down. Tight grip. Hug in. Drop down. And focus on your left hip. Again, feet low and relaxed or flexed and lifted up. Let's do a couple more rounds of breath here. Last time. And then as you breathe out, uncross the legs, bring the knees into the chest. I want us to do a few more core exercises because we've got, some time. So let's place both hands on the right knee while we're here. We're gonna go through a bit from the AB 5 series. So both hands on your right knee. Your left leg is going to extend away from you. High to sky for more ease, closer to the floor for more heat, anywhere in between. Your head can stay grounded or it can be lifted up. Again, if lifted, swept out elbows, dropped in shoulders. Single leg stretch. Breathe in, switch your legs. And breathe out, switch your legs. That's it. We're going to stay with one breath, one movement to begin. Legs have power. Upper body has stability. If you start in one position, do not feel like you have to stay in that position. If it feels too much, right? Maybe the head's up, but your neck is straining, head comes back down. Or maybe vice versa. Maybe something's not enough and you need to build up, and that's okay to intermittently change that as long as our structure is good. Good. If you want more heat here, you can double up the pace, inhaling to switch twice and then exhaling to switch twice. Due to the increased speed, we have to use our core strength more to stabilize, stabilize, stabilize. Good. 4 more cycles of breath. Twice more. Last time, breathe it in big. Push that breath out. Good, both knees in. If head was up, taking it down and look to rest. Recover. So it's all about finding balance between the moving parts and the non-moving parts. And both have to be equally kind of focused on, right? So we're not just worrying about, well, my legs have movement. Because if we just focus on that, we lose our stability, or vice versa. If we're focused on stability, sometimes we lose the power of our moving parts. So being mindful that there's a nice 50-50 spread of that. All right, let's continue on. Let's continue on. He's being real ham up today, right? Ham, ham, ham. All right, double leg stretch is next. So knees to body, hands on knees, head grounded or lifted. We're moving our extremities now. So breathing in, legs extend away and arms reach back. As you breathe out, circle the arms around, bring the knees back in again. So when you expand, higher to sky has more ease, closer to the floor has more heat, further away from the body, and then pull everything in, breathing out. Let's do 4 more. 4. 3 more, reaching away. And then pulling it all back in. 2 more times. He is determined to get some attention. Last time here, we reach out and reach away. And then we pull everything in with kitty included. And then we recover and rest. We'll do a couple more from the AB 5 series. Our next focus is going to be on our hamstrings, stretching them out. And also, of course, strengthening our core through single straight leg, or they're also called scissors. Both legs to sky, toes pointed. Hold the back of the right leg with both hands and begin to lower the left leg towards the floor. Again, choosing to keep your head grounded or lift it up for more heat. We'll begin. 2 pulses in with the right leg when you inhale. Switch them off when you exhale. Left leg, pulses in twice, and then switches out as you breathe out. These are a little bit slower so that we can maintain control of upper body, especially when we come into this kind of, pulsing movement, wearing my shoes, getting distracted. Breathing in and out steadily, consistently. Four more rounds of breath. Two more. Last one. Good. Let's let those legs meet together at the sky. Let's bring the knees in, take the head down, and recover again. Hi, bud. All right. Next is a focus to the lower abdominal region. So this movement is going to be super small because the lower abdominals are a really tricky area to strengthen. They're probably, I'd say, of all the kind of core muscles, the lower abs are the weakest, the hardest to target, shall I say, maybe in that sense. So when we go through this movement, what is helpful to me and might be helpful to you is visualizing that area of your body as like a bright neon color. And sometimes I even like to do this with my eyes closed so that when it comes to doing all the work that the core needs to do, I visualize that area being highlighted. And then that sometimes helps me to more deeply connect to that part of my body to also deepen its strength. So let's do it. Legs to tabletop. Be mindful again, knees don't pull in too close. They should be stacked above your hips, tailbone on the floor. You should already actually feel the core tightening and working just to hold the legs in this position. Ankles in line with knees. We keep our 90-degree shape of legs. So the entire leg moves up and down as one piece. Small, here we go. Inhale, legs begin to lower towards the floor. Then visualize that area, nice and bright and strong, pulling the legs back up. Coming down with resistance on an inhale. And pulling up slow on the exhale. Lower. When you're lifting, it will feel as though you're stopping short of movement. Coming down. 4 more here. 3 more. 2 more times. Last time, take it down, breathe in. Pull up, breathe out, bring the knees all the way in, hands on knees, rock side to side to recover. Crazy man today. All right, let's go ahead and stretch a little bit more here. We didn't even do any spinal twist yet, so let's go ahead and do that. So with the knees into the body, I want you to open your arms out to a T. Gently lower your legs down to the right side. Allow the feet to come down first. Then let the legs continue over. And then look over the left shoulder. Option to take your right hand on top of your left leg to lightly press down on to kind of help assist you more deeply into rotation. Good, let's take another breath in. As you exhale, slowly lift up and let's transition to the other side. Legs coming down to the left, looking over the right shoulder. Let's stay here for a couple more cycles of breath. One last time, let's take a big breath in. Let's activate our core as we exhale to pull the legs back up to center, head through center. And let's rock up from here to seated. He's being a fresh boy today. So in seated fashion, we're going to cross the legs, ground the sits bones, stack up our spine, and have the arms at our sides with palms to sky. Thank you, sir. We're taking our finisher here, taking an inhale, the arms reach out. We're going to lift up and the hands touch right at the top. As you exhale, bring your hands to your heart space. A couple more times here, inhaling up high to the sky and exhaling, pulling down to the heart. Last time. Inhale. Nice long side bodies here as you reach up to the sky, and then exhaling, hands to heart. We're keeping the hands here. I want you to lower your chin to your chest and close your eyes. Bowing to yourself, this is our moment to give ourselves some thanks, right? For showing up to the work, the practice, and to ourselves. Taking time to listen to, understand, and connect to our body, and also continuing to keep our body in moving order. Thank you guys again for tuning in to another 1 hour Pilates practice. I'm glad this devil came in and showed his face. It's been a while. He was a naughty boy. So maybe you'll see more of him later on. Until then, you guys enjoy this class, and I'll see you next week. Have a great day, guys. Thanks.